We're going to go over all the tips and tricks and features of the Cardo Packtalk Pro that we know of. I know from the last video, a lot of you guys and gals had a lot of questions about this new unit, and hopefully today we're going to be able to actually answer them. Starting off with the actual features and specs of the Pro. This features an IP67 rating, which means it's waterproof and dustproof, JBL 45mm speakers, which is a far cry larger than the previous Cardo Edge, and if you wanted to upgrade the Edge's speaker set to a 45mm set, then you can through our website too. It has an air mount system, which means it magnetically attaches to the cradle on the outside of the helmet, just to make it more convenient and easy for us to use. For the connectivity, it's got 5.2 Bluetooth up to 2 devices, as well as the DMC 2nd Gen mesh, which allows us to connect up to 15 different riders at one time. Now, when connected to different riders, we have a range of 1.6 kilometers or 1 mile. If you surpass that, don't worry, because when you fall back within that range, the device will auto reconnect. For the new features, you have the auto crash detection, as well as the auto standby mode, which we'll get over to in a little while. But first, let's actually connect this device up to our phone. In order to connect your Cardo to your phone, first download the Cardo app. Once that's done, put your Cardo into its cradle so we can actually hear what's happening with the Cardo unit itself. We're using the Edge phones because it's less clunky than having the helmet on the table. Open up the settings tab on your phone, go into Bluetooth, and then this is where we're going to be connecting the device up to the Cardo unit. So if you press the front button on the Cardo, that'll turn the device on. Blue and green flashing lights means it's on. Press the bottom button for 3 seconds and then it will go into Bluetooth pairing mode. And there we go, it should pop up at the bottom. Now mine is already connected up because we can't risk disconnecting or resetting this Cardo unit as it's still on the beta software. Moving on to this, we'll actually have to use the screen recording from the complete walkthrough setup. So just bear with me, we'll get into that right now. Now, if the Cardo tells you to do an update, then do it now. It's better to do it now while we're here. The first thing you'll be greeted by is the setup for the auto crash detection. Click on to see the important notes, have a read through that to understand what needs to happen for it to work. Next tab, the Cardo will ask for your permission to do the following: motion activity, your location, and also track your background location. The background location is so that it'll still track your location while the app isn't in use. Once you're happy with that, the next step is to save your emergency contact. So click the little blue icon in the middle of the screen, choose the number from your contacts, and for me that will be my dad. And that's it for saving your contact details for your auto crash detection. For the next portion, it's just going to be explaining what will happen in the event of an off. So if the Cardo thinks you've been in an accident, it will start a 30-second timer. And if you're safe, you can cancel it by either clicking any of the buttons on the Cardo, by just saying out loud, ignore, or by clicking the cancel I'm okay button on your phone. However, let's say you did have a little slip up, the Cardo will actually send an SOS message after the 30-second timer to your emergency contact, detailing your last known location. Personally, I truly love the fact that they've added this. We'll get over to the quick access buttons on the app in a little while, but first let's go back to the analog version, which is the buttons on the actual intercom itself. I barely touch these, but here are the basics that you will need to know. At the front here, to turn it on, you just hold it down, and then to turn it off, you hold the top and bottom ones together. For a few seconds, it'll turn the whole unit off. If you're wanting to play music, just press the front button here, and in order to pause it, just press the scroll button at the back here. This also acts as your volume up and down. It's very intuitive, this little device, so you won't be forgetting or getting confused. If you want to go into Bluetooth pairing mode or into the mesh mode, press the top button here until it does so. Through the speakers, you'll hear something come through, and then it will be either in Bluetooth mode or a DMC. But that's the basic gist of this. Let's move on to the actual app, where you have a lot more features to play around with. Now we've done the little walkthrough, let's actually look at the UI, or the user interface of the Cardo app. Upon opening, you can see the big old chunky buttons for when we wear big old chunky gloves. If we go under quick access, this will be your most commonly used tools like your voice recording, your redial, and your speed dial. You also have your music settings in there. If to share the music, you can press the middle button there. You share it with fellow riders. Another quick tip is if you want to use your voice activation features, but without having to use your voice, you can press the bottom button on the Cardo and it will turn that on. If you go into Intercom, you have your 2 different settings in here. So you have your Bluetooth mode if you're connecting it to a non-Cardo device, and your mesh mode for your other mesh Cardo devices too. If we go off of here, you have your music at the bottom and your FM radio on the other side. Something that they carried over from the Cardo Edge is the voice recording feature, which will go in more into depth a little later on when we connect it up to the Cardo and the GoPro unit as well. So if we go into the settings here, you can see all your little fine tuning adjustment tools that in here. So like your crash detection, if you want to turn it on and off, your auto standby mode on and off, your audio settings if you want to change the mix of the background music to the voice that's being spoken out through the mics, or the audio profiles like your bass, treble and everything else like that. So these are cool little neat features that are super handy to use and very intuitive as well. So you heard about these new features, but what do these new features actually do? Starting off with the auto crash detection, this is basically where we can save a phone number onto the Cardo device, and then in the event of an off, the person that's saved as the emergency contact gets a notification of your last known location. Now within the app, you can either toggle this on automatically, so it's running all the time, or you can set it to manual where you can turn it on and off when you're in the app. The next feature is going to be the auto standby mode. Now this doesn't turn it off completely, but saves energy when you just leave it's laying on the table for more than 3 minutes. Now this isn't a permanent solution, but it is definitely very handy when you're forgetful like myself in turning the unit off. Now it does drain a little bit more battery this way, but it's not going to be as much as if you left it completely on, so it's a nice little neat feature to have and very convenient to have in this new Packtalk Pro. Another feature is the fact that you can now toggle off some voice commands that might be interrupting your karaoke abilities, like the fact that you can turn off the Hey Cardo radio on. That can be turned off, as well as another one within the settings app, which is fantastic for us that love to sing. Moving on to connecting your Cardo to another Cardo unit. Open up the app and then you'll see here under Intercom, this is where everything's going to happen. I'm having this as a visual representation so you see what's happening in real time, but I'm actually going to be doing it through the two units. It's nice and simple. All you have to do is make sure that this is in DMC, and in order to find out is just be sure to listen in, press the two top and bottom buttons like this, and then it should either switch to Bluetooth. If it's in Bluetooth, then switch it back into DMC. Vice versa if you want Bluetooth or mesh. Now do the same on both of these, and then press the top button on the Cardo unit, hold it down, and it'll start to look for other riders. Do the same on the second unit, and once that's done, it will try and connect each other up, and as you can see, it's already connected up one other rider. And if that's the total amount of people in the group, just press finish, and there you have it. You have a group intercom communication system open. If you want to connect your Cardo to any other intercom unit, this is how you go about doing it. So this is going to be in the Bluetooth mode now. You need to be having both of these units in the Bluetooth mode. So in order for that to be the Cardo, you have to hold down the top button like we did previously until it starts saying that it's going to be in Bluetooth pairing. Now searching for another unit to pair to, we can do the same with the other intercom unit. We're using the Sena SRL3. You hold down the configuration button at the side here for 12 seconds until you hit the configuration menu. So it'll do that. Once it's done that, like so, click the minus button 3 times until it gets into universal pairing. Now press the middle button once more, and now it's going to be looking for the other device. And there you go, they are now paired together. And that's it. Something that you guys might be interested in is the voice record feature in the Cardo app. If you click into this, you can start recording your group audio. So if you press the blue button here, it'll start recording your audio like that. Now, a little side note, if you're playing music or want to play music, you can't record audio. So if you save that, we can also add the new feature that they've incorporated into the Cardo app, where you can connect your GoPro or Insta-Ace Pro into the voice recording feature directly without having to have a separate file. So let's get straight into that portion. In order to connect your GoPro up to your Cardo unit, first open up your GoPro settings app, go over to pair device, and this is where we're going to see the Cardo unit pop up. Now go over to your Cardo unit, press the bottom button until it goes into Bluetooth pairing mode, like so. It'll be a blue and red flashing light, and now it's popped up here on this GoPro. We connect it by pressing it, and there you have it. Your audio is now going to be recorded straight to the GoPro. If you want to record your entire group via the GoPro itself, then you have to follow these next few steps, because there's a little workaround to get that connected up. So once you're in DMC mesh, switch over back into Bluetooth intercom pairing by holding down the 2 buttons there. Now it's in intercom mode, you hold down on the top button until it goes into intercom pairing mode. Go into your GoPro and it should pop up as a Bluetooth device, so we'll wait for that. Once that's done, press it when it pops up. Now that it's connected, go back into DMC by pressing the 2 side buttons there. And to bring or bridge your connection to the GoPro into this DMC mesh group, then hold down and press down 3 times on the top button here. And there you go. You have voice activation features as well, so if you wanted to say GoPro start recording, it will. We hope we've given you enough information on the Cardo Packtalk Pro and all the little features and things that you can play around with. Now, for my personal opinions on the Cardo unit, I've been using the Edge for the past year now, the predecessor to the Pro, and the Pro just takes it up just that next level. It's been completely faultless throughout the entire duration of me using it, and I've just loved every moment having one of these. Now, if you did find this informative enough, then please give us a thumbs up. If you have any more questions that we didn't cover in this video, leave them in the comments below. We'll try and answer them as best as we can. Be sure to subscribe, ride safe, and we'll see you all soon.